So I think we can all guess exactly what I've got here. It's the new plastic Avenger strike fighters for Aeronautica Imperialis from Games Workshop. So let's get these babies out of the bag without cutting any bits off me. It's almost like I've got worse at this over lockdown. I can't even get the cellophane off. How am I going to build these without stabbing myself repeatedly? There we go. Plastic flap. So, on the box, some nice box art. Yeah, talks about it being an Age of Strife fighter aircraft and getting popular during the Age of Apostasy. So, we have instructions. We have... Is it a specific Avenger sheet? It is a specific Avenger sheet. So I need to work out where these are meant to go. Are they meant to go along the wing edges? Don't know. But we've got smaller designs suitable to go on the wings. We've got instructions. Not super long instructions. And I imagine this goes together substantially better than the... substantially better than the Forge World Avenger, which just didn't fit together when I was trying to build it. We've then got 2 sprues and 1, 2, 3, 4 bases and 4 lots of the little plastic stands. So let's have a close look at the sprue. We have enough missiles and enough guns to build any options because, yep. Give me a second, I'm just going to look at the rules. Let's give this a quick check because the rules say that you can choose 2 lots of ordnance, but there is only space for 1 lot of ordnance. Yep, let's have a look at this. So, Avenger strike fighters may be equipped with 1 additional weapon chosen from the following list at 3 points. Additionally, Avenger strike fighters may be equipped with up to 2 additional weapons chosen from the following list at 2 points. Which implies, rules as written, you can take 2 spaces of ordnance, so 2 lots of missiles, or 2 lots of bombs, but you've only got the space to put 1 set of guns, 1 set of bombs. Interesting. I wonder if that's going to get FAQ'd. It's certainly worth bringing up. But looking at the sprue and looking at the amount of detail, that's really nice. And it does not look like a particularly difficult build. So I'm going to separate pieces from the sprue, come back and show you how to build it, and I'll be back in a moment. So I've separated the pieces from the sprue and cleaned them. So now it's time to start building some things. So the wings are not super complicated, but you do need to connect the engine together, which is, to be fair, in 3 parts, and with this landing skid integral to it. So as you can see, that goes together like that, and this comes in like this. So let's get these pieces together. As ever, I'm just using polystyrene cement This is GW plastic glue in a Tamiya pot with brush applicator. One wing piece. Two wing pieces, and now this pops in like that and you get the distinct wing shape, then which covers a multitude of sins. You pop the engine fan on there. Then bang, you've got both wings done. I'm going to leave those to dry for a minute and start on the fuselage. So the fuselage does not have a lot of pieces, and they go together quite easily. The cockpit is one long piece. The only bit you gotta be very careful of is after you separate it from the sprue, you've got the heavy stubber, which is quite thin, and you don't want to snap it off. But you do want that to go in quite solidly. Then to strengthen the bottom, you want to pop this ball joint in, like so. Be very careful you don't press down on the heavy stubber the whole time. So we've got a little bit of excess flash here. So now I can see it. That's going to come off. Check the other side again. A little bit of excess there. And with the paint and the plastic glue, that should hopefully disappear. Tail fin. You've got to get this right. So you've got these facing back, you've got these facing back, and it goes like that. So that's straight, and I'm going to leave that to dry for a second. Meanwhile, you've got the two pieces of the main gun. You can, if you want to keep these super cheap, give this no ordnance and no additional weapon options. If you do that, and to be fair I wouldn't, but you can, you've got a 20-point plane that's very good at low level. Still does have an Avenger bolt cannon. Just make sure that's straight, leave that to dry for a minute. So if you stick the wings on at this point, you've then got to fit the ordnance underneath. So it's much easier to put these options on before you glue the wings onto the fuselage. One. As you can see, I'm going with the last cannon build for this one to pop enemy tanks and things like that. Though we are still a little way away from the epic rules. Taking the guns off the sprue, those are one of the few bits that you need to be real careful of. If you want to paint details like these little bits here in the ammo pack and things like that, you're probably going to want to leave these separate. But we're talking about painting bits that you really just can't see. Unless you're turning the plane over and examining it very closely. You can't go crazy with the plastic glue. But I didn't use enough there, so a little bit more needs to be applied. Like so. I've stuck that in upside down, so let's pull that out. There we go. So that's done, and now I can put the wings in. Quick test fit. Like so. And then you can see how close the guns are to the main fuselage when it's assembled, and that's why you've got to put them on the wings first. So that's an Avenger with las cannons, that's an Avenger with auto cannons. For scale, here's a Valkyrie, a Lightning, a Marauder, and a Thunderbolt. So these are pretty big planes, to be fair, but they are structured too. So you can see, side by side comparison, the Marauder is much bigger. So as a kit, they're great, they're detailed, they're not that hard to put together. As a plane, looking forward to painting them up and flying them in some low-level strike missions or some low-level combat missions against the Tau or the Orcs. But yeah, I'm impressed with the kit, really like it. I really like how the Avenger looks in 40k, it's just that the Forge World kit is a nightmare to put together and basically doesn't fit unless you do some massive sanding. But yeah, I would highly recommend this as a purchase if you are an Aeronautica Imperialis player. If you've liked this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to chat, leave a comment below. But otherwise, good gaming.